Hello, boys and girls of Mr. Pence's class. We're here today out in front of the San Luis Rey Mission, and I'm interviewing my granddaughter, Lauryn Chenoweth, who's going to tell you some very important information about San Luis Rey. So Lauryn, could we start with just where is this mission located?
My mission is located, San Luis Rey Mission is located in Oceanside, California.
And I know there were 21 missions built in this chain. Which one was this mission?
My mission was not the first one founded. Even though San Diego was the first, San Luis Rey was the 18th. It was founded on June 13th, 1798.
And who was the founder of this mission?
The founder was Friar Ferdinand Lassued. It was the last mission he founded when he was over 70 years old.
And I know there were a lot of Native American Indians that lived in this area. What tribe lived here?
The Luiseño lived in the area around the San Luis
Lauren,
Rey.
would you say the Native Americans that were living here were happy?
Yes, I think the natives were happy because of these things. And they worked very hard at the mission. 2, they wanted to be baptized into the Catholic religion. 3, when Father Pierre left for Spain, the Indians begged him not to go.
And if you could just tell us a little bit about the daily life at the mission for the Padres and Indians. I think that'd be interesting.
The Padres taught the Indians to produce what they needed to have to live. The Indians made clothing, candles, soap, and food. Also important was going to church. Each morning the church bell called all to worship. After dinner, the Indians sang and danced.
That is really interesting, Lauren. And one more thing we'd like to know is about the crops they grew at the mission and the kinds of animals they grew.
They grew corn, wheat, beans, and grapes. The animals raised were cattle, horses, and sheep.
We're going to pause for a minute, boys and girls. Lauren's going to tell you just a little bit about what you've been looking at, and then we're going to go to another location.
This is the front of the mission, and right over there is the bell tower. It has one bell, and right there is the museum, and beyond over there is the graveyard.
Okay, so now, boys and girls, we're inside the church at San Luis Rey Mission. We're trying to keep our voices low, and Lauren's going to tell you a little bit more about some of the important facts about this mission. So, what we wanted to know next, Lauren, about those Indians. What crafts were made at the mission, and what tools were made or used?
For crafts, they made baskets, pottery, and leather products. Some tools that were made were for kitchen use, like spoons. Also, they made tools for building and for taking care of the animals.
And we know that there were a lot of natural disasters at these missions, tragedies that happened. Could you tell us about one that happened here at San Luis Rey?
In 1926, there was an earthquake. It destroyed the bell tower. The only other damage was due to weather.
And then how about some information about the architectural features like this beautiful church? Could you tell us about some of those?
The church is one of the larger mission churches. The church was built out of adobe brick and lime plaster. It has one bell tower. It has a cemetery. Also, it has a garden on the mission grounds.
All right, and we're going to go next to the cemetery so that the boys and girls can see that and ask you a few more questions when we get there. So now, boys and girls, we're at the cemetery that you can see behind us, and I have a few more questions for Lauren here. So here's an important question. Lauren, just what is a mission?
Missions are a series of military outposts established by Spanish Catholics in the Franciscan order.
Okay, and why did these padres, they're also called padres, why did they start up these missions?
It was to spread the Christian faith among the local Native Americans.
And one more really important question. What do you think the Native Americans and the padres learned from each other?
I think the Native Americans learned to do so much, like making many things such as foods, tools, and crafts. The Padres learned that the Native Americans were hard workers. The Padres also learned that the Native Americans were good people.
That's really interesting. We're going to pause one more time, boys and girls, and we're going to go next to a very important area of this mission called the Lavanderia, and there Lauren's going to tell you a little bit more about it. Boys and girls, we are now at the Lavanderia, and we're going to take a walk down to the actual site where Lauren is going to tell you some really important information about this place. So here's Lauren at the Lavanderia now to tell you a little bit more about it. Go ahead, Lauren.
I'm going to tell you an important part of Mission San Luis Rey. It is the Lavanderia. They got the water from San Luis Rey River. It was clean water that ran through filters to clean the water. All of their clothing was washed at the Lavanderia. As you can see, they would go down these steps and they would wash their clothes, and then that water would go out into these long river kind of a thing, and
out to the field.
The leftover water went to the underwater garden and to the fields beyond. They grew shrubs and exotic fruits. This was a very important part of Mission San Luis Rey's history.
Some pictures of the then and now photos. This is Mission San Luis Rey in the 1890s. This is Mission San Luis Rey now. These are the church doors today, and these were the church doors in the 1900s. This is the church doors from inside today, and those are the church doors from inside early 1900s, and this is the 1950s of the Lavanderia, and this is the 1940s restoration of the large quadrangle, which served as a Franciscan seminary. This is the 20th century restoration, and this is the bell tower collapse in 1926. This is when it was repaired. This is the bell tower today. This is the view from the choir loft today. That's the view from the choir loft in 1942. This is the view of the main altar, early 1900s. This is the view of the main altar today. These are all the photos of the modern day and still going today restoration. This is the Mission San Luis Rey time capsule. It was in 1798 to 1998, and then to be opened 2048. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.